Another developer. I will try to answer your questions about our next game.
All right, so if people want to post, I'm not sure wherever really, in the general chat in the Discord or on the YouTube chat, we're happy to answer any questions. Yeah, for the next 45 or so minutes. I don't know, Max, for the time being, would you just like to go over some, I don't know, some of the key headline features about the new improved user interface and things like that while questions come in on YouTube and Discord? That might be helpful.
So, well, yeah. All of you have seen an announcement that we had on our social media, especially on our Discord. A lot of you have already seen our brand new screenshots, and so you have already noticed that we totally remade our UI. It became more beautiful. more understandable for you. That's the main improvement, that's the main change. But we have already other cool changes for you, and the other great feature that Crisis in the Kremlin, the Cold War will have is full modding support. Thanks to the Harmony library that is available for the C#. Now every of you can make your own mod that will alter the game's code, and you can basically make everything your own events, your own technologies, your own decisions in the game, basically everything. So yeah, maybe you can add something. Well, that were main features.
Well, I think
The most, yeah.
so. Marias is asking about the technology tree. I know we haven't made any specific announcements about that, and I haven't been privy to anything, any new information on the technology tree. But will it be structured in a similar way to the old Crisis in the Kremlin, or more like something like in China's Mao's Legacy?
Well, it's quite similar to the first Crisis in the Kremlin, but for now I cannot talk about something more specific. I can only say that there will be technologies regarding IT, so computers sphere, military technologies, nuclear technologies, but not anything more specific. We are still developing them, so.
I'm sure a lot of us are hoping for some more OGAS content.
It kinda will be mixed
Hmm.
from the original game, Mao's Legacy, and other games. You will see.
Yeah, I suppose you've got a lot more experience with game design over the last... How long has it been since Crisis in the Kremlin? Many years now. 4 or 5 years. Anyway.
Yes, about 5 or 6 years already.
No, so Ulrich, the economy in Crisis in the Kremlin, the Cold War, will be pretty similar, probably more similar to the original game, from my understanding, than Mao's Legacy. So it retains a lot of that complexity and sort of the domestic and like international split that game had. And then there will also be, of course, the influence of your your ministries and the sort of the people in the government. Maybe Max, you want to comment on the number of factions, if we have any information on that? I've seen it in the menu, I just can't remember how many there are.
Yeah, Brutal Pin, can you answer that question about factions?
There will be more factions than the original game. More diverse, more specifics, more different people in factions with their own views. So yeah, it will be more than in the original game. Like social patriots, liberal democrats.
So it sounds like it's pretty considerably expanded from the first game then, in terms of the ideological options and that. That's great.
Yes, more ideological options, you are right.
But it's quite similar to the first Crisis in the Kremlin. It's expanded, but quite similar to the system itself.
Yes.
I'm sure that's what a lot of people want, so that's great. Monarch of the Sea, no. So Crisis in the Kremlin 2 at the moment is only focusing on the playing as the USSR. I don't think there's plans for the playability of China or anything like that.
Regarding that question, I cannot answer it for now. You will see, but you will definitely be able to play as the Soviet Union, as you can understand from the screenshots and all the information. But regarding other nations, well, you have to wait for now. Maybe something will be. Maybe.
Yeah, Crisis in the Kremlin. It's the game about USSR, the first place. Yeah.
So Napoleon Bonaparte's in the chat. That's great. So to establish yourself at this sort of, I guess, Stalin level of power, I mean, it's really up to the player, right? So you can be a, sort of more limp-wristed reformist, like a sort of Gorbachev type guy, and sort of take your hands off the reins of power, or yeah, you can, cement yourself in this more like dictatorial position, like Stalin did. It's really just completely up to the player. So you've got a whole spectrum of choices there, and I'm sure you can mix and match this, right? So maybe in the economy you want to take a very, sort of centrally planned sort of style, but maybe in the social sphere more of a hands-off kind of liberal reformer style. All of these different combinations and possibilities will be possible. Monarch of the Sea is just clarifying. He's talking about different republics within the USSR. So,
I think you will not be able to play as different republics in the USSR. At least we do not have such plans now. Well, the time will show, maybe we'll think about it, but for now, no, we are not thinking about republics inside the Soviet Union.
So yeah, I see the questions about will be turn-based or will be like China Mouse Legacy and Nostalgia. The second one, it will be in real time, like China Mouse Legacy and Nostalgia. Yes.
So within the events and just the whole like running of the game will be like China Mouse Legacy with the like pause and pause and play based on like a real-time paradigm, something like a Paradox game.
Yes, indeed. Something like a Paradox games, you can compare it to them.
Or like the previous games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is again something I can't comment on, but the National Confederation of Labour is asking, will different political economic systems have more detailed descriptions than in CITK1? I'm not quite sure if he means the how they are represented in game, or if just he means the sort of text and historical aspect of that. But maybe we could answer both.
Well, if he is asking about the description itself, so text, I can say that yes, we are improving the text. All the texts in the game, they will be longer, they will be more understandable to people. All the not just all the economic systems, but everything in our game, in our next game, will be described more thoroughly. So no more problems with understanding something.
Yeah, and I think we've seen those improvements come through with the recent China Mouse Legacy updates. A lot of the sort of things people have discussed in the past about not, having some mechanics explained. I've noticed in the latest, alongside the latest DLCs in China Mouse Legacy that, tooltips and just like general better English localization has come through and been really impactful in making that game more transparent.
Yeah, regarding the tooltips, I think almost every active element in the game will have its own tooltip describing the impact of that element. So, for example, the change of values that will happen if player press the button. So yeah, no more problems with that. Oh, I would like to add regarding English translation. Yeah, we learned a lot from our previous games, and I assure you that for the Crisis in the Kremlin, the Cold War, the English translation will be improved. We will invest more money in that, and I hope you can. You will see how quality increases.
So yeah, Chris, on the point of readability in the game. That's sort of what we've been talking about, right? So definitely for some of the like earlier titles, there were tooltips and that were not especially widespread. So we're hoping that that's pretty much going to be resolved in the new title. And on the subject of the content creators, I'm the running the marketing on the Western aspect of Crisis in the Kremlin, the Cold War. So I've been compiling pretty large lists of some previous content creators for Kremlingames and some other people that sort of cross over in multiple spheres. So like English sphere and the like French sphere. And we're going to hope to get in touch with them as we come up to release, possibly with an early access sort of for those content creators and things of that nature.
Oh, I see a person asked the question in Discord chat. So, what development time has it got yet, and how much longer will it take? So, we have been developing this game for 1 year now, and it will be released in the 4th quarter of the next year, I think. We hope, for now. So, the estimated time is like that.
I see the questions about the music. Like you can switch to the original song. No, you can't. We made that remixes.
Oh, I can answer that.
You will not have problems with copyright. So no.
So basically we have made few remixes, and not any problems with copyright can arise, because that's our music now, honestly. I would rather call it not remixes but remakes. So we remade the music from scratch.
Yeah, and this should also ease it, content creation for YouTubers and streamers of the like, having completely owned and copyright free music in that regard. This is an interesting question about the new character customization system. Could you probably tell us a little bit about that, Max? That's not accessible in my version of the build.
Yeah, I can tell it. So, in our next game, you will be able to create your own character. Well, you had such an opportunity in first Crisis in the Kremlin, but from now on, the options to customize your character will be increased. So, you will be able to load your own image in the game, which will serve as a photo for your politician, for your leader. You will be able to set up his name, surname, his date of birth, and his traits and his characteristics. More about traits and characteristics, I think we will talk about that later, maybe not on this stream, because we developed a whole new system of politicians. So with traits, it's a lot of information. We can talk about it later and more deeply.
So I see another questions. Monarch of the Sea asks, will there be different start dates? Yes, there will be different dates. I can tell there will be the beginning of Perestroika date and GGCP start date for sure.
So that would mean, for those of us who are not as familiar with the late history of the Soviet Union, when would that Perestroika date be, approximately?
You mean what year Perestroika started?
Yes.
1985.
Mm-hmm.
And the GKCP started in 1999, so that's the second date.
So quite considerably.
1991.
1991, the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
year of the US.
Yeah, sorry.
But that's still quite considerably expanded from Crisis in the Kremlin 1, from my understanding.
Yes, there will be more starting characters with different settings, like not only Gennady Yanayev in the GGP start day, like it was in Crisis of the Kremlin, but the other songs too.
Or your own character. Yeah. You can create your own character in any starting date.
So that's right. From my understanding, we've had a few questions about this. It will be more like the original Crisis in the Kremlin, where you play as like a real character, as opposed to sort of the nation as a whole.
No, kinda yeah. Initial design, it's meant to be played as historical character.
Yeah.
But if you want it pretty bad, you can make your own.
Max, you might want to help answer this. We've had it a few times. I'll just cross-post it to you in the Discord.
Oh, all those questions. Well, I can answer a few of them. 1 second.
In a moment, we've got quite a few questions from the Chinese player base, so we'll start going through them in a moment. So there'll be a pause to Discord answering.
Okay, no, you're not stuck with only one character. If your character dies, you can continue playing as another one. That's all that I can say for now.
Yeah, it will not be like one character in the original game. It will like Nostalgia or China Mouse Legacy, when you can change your ruler character. So yeah.
Max, you might want to have a look at the moderator chat. We got some questions from the Chinese player base who seem to be watching.
Yeah, I'm thinking of what can I answer for now. Well, I can answer about the official mod too. As I previously said, yes, you can make your own events. You can edit original events, so you can do everything, pretty everything. Basically, you can edit the game's code at runtime, so you can change every line of code. And if you are familiar with the programming on C#, you can Google the Harmony library and you see that you can change the every command from the common language runtime, if you understand what it means. So basically, yes.
I think the question may be referring to like a graphical sort of mod tools, like an event editor and things like that.
No, for now, no graphical tools for that. But maybe someone will make it. I mean, some fan, not us. It's not that complicated.
It seems like the architecture of the Crisis in the Cold War is so open. Really, anyone could make some kind of open source modding library for it, much like have been made for other games that introduced GUI style editing for events and things like that.
Yes, I think it's totally possible. So, and it's not that hard to make.
So Vadim is asking, would events from the first game's DLC, Home of the Revolution, be included in Crisis in the Kremlin 2? I'm assuming that's a partly yes.
No, maybe some of them, because Home of the Revolution is DLC about Russian Republic, SSSR, so maybe we will include some of them. Pretty possible.
Oh, I can answer one question. So, will there be restrictions on the custom leader system of the game? And yes, just like in Crusader Kings 2 or 3, you have some points to distribute between your leader's characteristics. and you can only start game if you haven't spent all of your points. So basically, yes, restrictions will be present.
So I see another question from the Discord. Will there be capability to take no campism stance in the base game, simply not convert US directly? Don't know why you mean by no campism, but you can be friend with US pretty much. Don't make any confrontation. But it will cost you, your influence on other things. But yeah, you can.
So this would be like sort of a like isolationist, like maximum detente kind of strategy, from my understanding, right?
Yeah, it's pretty possible. It will be consequences of that, of course, but yes, you can.
This is an interesting question from Max. I'm sure that this isn't worked out, but maybe you could just tell us if this is an idea you're open to some kind of common form, like unitary communist party for the, I'm assuming that means the whole Eastern Bloc or maybe entire communist bloc, if Soviet influence expands greatly.
Unfortunately, I can't answer that for now.
Yeah.
We are thinking about such specific things. So you will see.
Monarch of the Sea in YouTube. How difficult will the game be relative to other games? I think you'll find that the complexity of the new game is going to be quite similar or exceed that of Crisis in the Kremlin 1 and China Mao's Legacy. But with all the usability improvements, especially in terms of tooltips and just the overall transparency of game mechanics, that complexity won't translate into difficulty necessarily. But I think we're still retaining the difficulty options, like in China Mao's Legacy. Is that right?
I would add that it will be easy to understand that game, but it will be challenging for you. That's what can I say?
Yeah, difficulty is pretty subjective, so yeah, it's hard to answer those questions.
Ulrich, sorry, I don't think we can comment on any end states or game endings yet. I think that'll be up for the players to find them once the game releases next year.
Yeah, but regarding endings of the game, I can say that, and by the way, that was not included in our announcement, but the game will be connected with the Steam leaderboard service, and every time you get an ending, you will get some points from that ending, regarding of how well you ruled your country, and your points then will be compared to your Steam friends' points. So you will be able to compete with your friends by earning more and more scores in the game, and that will be displayed in the main menu. Isn't that a great feature?
Yes, in one thing about the endings, there will be more detailed and expanded, of course, compared to the original game. So yeah.
Max, are you able to comment at all on the Trotskyites and the any representation of them in the game?
On what again?
On the Trotskyites.
You mean Trotsky? No, they will be present as a faction in the game, and there will be politicians who have Trotskyist political views.
To answer another question from the Chinese questions list we've got here, the Social Democrats, from my understanding, will be an option, but probably not in the immediate term. Is that right? Like there will have to be reforms.
Yes, they will be. Yes, they will be an option. So again, there will be politicians with social democratic views, and there will be a faction. I can't remember. Brutal Pin, is there a faction named Social Democrats, or they are named another way?
can say it right now on sec.
There will be a faction which represents Social Democrats, but honestly, I can't remember our latest updates, so how we called them.
Yeah, it changes constantly. So
Yeah, of course, the development process. So anyway, the faction which represents social democratic values will be present in the game. So
yes.
that's the answer to your question.
Yeah, so Bad Art Boy, we're open to really increasing cooperation with any, streamers or YouTubers when the game reaches a playable state. Tentatively, I'd like to, give maybe some, time-limited early access just before release to YouTubers, especially those who've played previous Kremlingames titles. So yeah, we'd be very much interested in that if you want to contact me on Discord or something of that nature. So Marias, no, I'm pretty sure that this sounds right, Max. That the wars that occur in the game will there will be wars included in the game which are alternate history. Is that right? Not just those that occurred in real life, but there'll be many,
Yeah, of course, alternative history wars will be included in game, so you can start them and participate in them. Yeah, definitely.
You can start them directly, or they will consequences of your actions.
Yeah.
On the inclusion of any content from outside this game in the Kremlingames universe, like the Republic from Collapse, I think that's more of an Easter egg kind of thing that would be included, so I'm not sure if we can comment.
You will see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's still early days now, Maurice, we can't say exactly. Draconic Aspirin asks an interesting question about whether those small factions that are outside the mainstream, like the Trotskyites and the Social Patriots and so on, if a character can start as a member of those factions, or if they have to start as a member of a faction sort of in the political mainstream.
Your own custom character can start as a member of any faction that is present in game, so it's all an option.
I'm sure just their amount of influence and power will be dictated in some way by how popular that faction is, though.
Yes, your choices during your custom character creation will affect your game experience, but you will see the specific details.
I can say there will be a strong political force in the CPU at the start, like the strongest factions. Despite any character you pick, so you kinda need to reshape that. So yeah.
S in the Discord asked about if Islam can be adopted as a state religion. I don't think we can comment on any specific sort of gameplay aspects like that at this early time. But from what I understand, we're open to including a lot of the content that was present in Crisis in the Kremlin 1. So it's a maybe. Sorry, person, no. At the moment, we can't get an in-depth look at the war system. But as the game is completed and we get closer to release, we'll definitely make some kind of teaser or developer diary style overview of a lot of those features, like the economy and so on, and we'll definitely have some writing on the new war system or improved war system.
Well, you already have some teaser, some screenshot of one of wars, the Afghan civil war, but for now, no more teasers until some time passes.
Until we have something to show you.
I can say that it's pretty substantially improved. It's now in a much more geographical representation of the territories held and things like that, which I'm sure people will like.
I can answer one question from Chinese viewers. Have developers considered designing the new economic system for a new game based on your past experience with particular games? If so, which game will you use as a prototype for your design? Well, simultaneously all of them and none of them in particular. So the new economic system will be much different from the first Crisis in the Kremlin. It will be easier to understand, easier to rule over, but it will also be more complex. You will see the details, but of course it will have something in common with the first Crisis in the Kremlin, because some basic things, they do not change.
All right, I think we'll wrap up soon, so we'll just take maybe a few more questions if anyone wants to ask them in YouTube. Would the community have a hand in naming the achievements and sort of deciding what they're for? I don't think we've discussed that, Max, but it sounds like an interesting idea. I know that some other games that do that.
Well, you can always write your suggestions in our Discord channels. We will look at them, and who knows, maybe we will include some achievements that you devised for us. So why not?
Unfortunately for Dim, we can't comment on any specifics like that about the internal politics of France in the game. I'm sure it will in some ways be affected, like in China Mao's Legacy and Crisis in the Kremlin, by the player's choice in the Soviet Union, and of course internal factors to the other country, which are also simulated. Sorry, we're just considering some questions from the Chinese viewers at the moment. Hence the silence.
I'm thinking about that. What can I answer?
Should we? I mean, I'm sure this question can be answered easily. I know it's specific, but it doesn't have a big influence. How are we thinking of representing some West German domestic politics? I know in the first game it's sort of represented as a police state. Will that be the same? Or will we represent it as a democracy?
You mean political system of the countries?
Yeah.
Well, there are not only will be police state, and it will never be in the original game. There will be also Western democracy, like in the original. Some other things, it will be expanded, of course.
I think the question, though, that's interesting, but I think the question is about specifically the ideology that will be chosen to represent West Germany at game start.
Brutopin, can you remember what we assigned to Western Germany?
Western Germany. It's kind of open to discussion still. So you'll see.
Yeah, they're thinking about it.
And sorry, Ulrich, yeah, we can't comment on the exact number of nations that are going to have their internal politics simulated like in Mao's Legacy. But I think you'll notice from some of the screenshots, the global map is considerably more complete than in previous games. So that may give you a hint about that. Alright, well, do we want to answer any more questions from the Chinese viewers?
Yeah.
Or...
No, I think it is the end for that questions.
Okay.
Everything else, for now, I can't answer that.
Let's take this as the last question from Person OK about the interaction with the map. Will we be able to pan across and zoom in and out of the map?
Yes, you will be able to zoom it, definitely. You already
you can see it on screenshot.
Yeah, the slider at the top right of the screen.
Yeah, and from what I've played of it in game, it's quite a bit nicer than some other titles. Sorry, not nicer, but quite a bit more like smoother to interact with than in China Mao's Legacy, things like that.
Yeah, you can drag them out, left, right, up, down, like you want.
Every direction you can dream of.
Zoom out.
Alright, well, I think it's been about 45 minutes now of questions and it's starting to slow down, so we might end the stream now. It's been great talking to some of the fans and answering questions. Hope we've answered, I think we've answered a pretty reasonable amount for this early stage of development. So as we continue closer to release next year, we'll be releasing teasers pretty consistently on the Discord, so follow the Discord for that. And we'll be making some sort of small developer diary style posts as well. Do you have any concluding remarks, Mike?
Brutopin, you can say that. Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Well, then I will answer. Yeah, we will not just make like little messages in dev diary style, but we will do a complete developer diary, like the full one, the big messages. You will be able to read them in our Reddit, I think. Yeah.
And we'll cross-post them to Discord, definitely.
Yeah, we're pretty active on Discord. You will be able to talk with us sometimes. So yeah, join and follow our news, teasers and other things.
I'll just say one more thing that might be interesting to the Chinese viewers watching who gave that question list. That the localization, sort of the new system for localization and the new modding system means that it will be possible to make fan translations to any language that's desired.
Yeah, I would like to add that you will not be able, you will not just be able to translate the game to any language you want. It would be very easy to do so because of the neat and pretty organization of our translation files. So you will see that immediately after the release, or maybe even before the release.
Yeah, it'll just be basically like a line by line. You know, read a line, translate it, replace it, then go in game and it's different. So a very simplified system for that. But if that's the end of the questions, I think we'll end it here. Do you have any sort of last remarks, Max, before we go?
Well, please wait for our next top game. I hope you will enjoy it. Bye bye.
Alright, fantastic. See you later.